The fundamental idea was that when people going to the theater turned off of Main Street, they would see lights on that indicates that there's a show tonight. There's something that's happy that's going to happen.
This is the laboratory for the performing arts. Everything that happens here, whether it's musically, whether it's in dance, whether it's drama, is somebody thinking about something related to the human condition. It's just a special kind of place.
We were very fortunate in having the property and the space that we needed, and having Nils, who had a professional interest in the buildings, and a very good architect. The groundbreaking occurred, and incidentally the area was in soybeans. We waited just a little bit so that the people could get the soybean crop off.
I remember looking out of my window from Presser and seeing corn and grass, nothing. It was nothing.
And then started the work, and it all went smoothly. From the beginning, the idea was to have it first rate, and all of the design features were intended to carry that out. And both Nils and the designer worked on that, having it distinctive and very practical.
I remember standing actually right back here when it was just concrete blocks, looking up while they were installing the chandeliers. And I remember thinking, wow, this is going to be a phenomenal facility.
That was a characteristic of the thought that went into many features of it, always with a view of what's going to happen on the stage.
Nils' idea to create an environment here that would be pleasing aesthetically but also state-of-the-art was what he wanted. It was his vision for this place.
From the time a person entered, there was a feeling of being in an arts atmosphere. The board took an action to name it for Katie Freed, and of course, we were greatly honored.
The Freeds, they were especially interested in the performing arts. They did this together. This is the Beau and Catherine Freed Performing Arts Center.
It came along very well, and we had the opening, which was a very good opening and stylishly done. And that somewhat set the tone.
When that curtain went up and that orchestra went and the students, it was phenomenal.
We created a symphony orchestra when almost the universal advice would be, don't try it. It won't work for a school your size.
Van Cliburn was here, the concert pianist. I mean, that's unheard of to have a world-renowned classical pianist of his stature.
And play his Tchaikovsky's first piano concerto with our symphony orchestra.
The opportunities that our students have had in terms of working with guest artists is phenomenal.
The audio here is great, the lighting is great, and the attitude of the stage crew is perfection.
It's changed the community in terms of access and availability and exposure to things that they would never have otherwise. Who in Ada would ever see Marvin Hamlisch?
It did a great deal to elevate the area's impression of Ohio Northern.
It has brought the performing arts to this community. We're bringing in things that not only are things that they like, but what they need to see as well.
The Holiday Spectacular. It's entirely local. It's seen by 9,000 people a year. It has some kinship to the New York production. It is today strikingly successful. Katie Freed and I had gone to see the shows in New York. We very quickly passed them by.
It's really to not only serve the community, but it's also a place in which our students can produce their works as well, which is very exciting because you get to see our students come in and have these experiences with professionals in their fields. They get to interact with them, they get to learn from them, and then you get to see this production that takes place on stage.
It was a purpose-built theater for the students to use, as opposed to a found space that was adapted. The physical building isn't an impediment to our students' learning. What I try to help the students do is find that passion. If it's lighting design or scenic design or costumes.
You have the costume shop right next door. I didn't have to sew my own costumes. That was an amazing thing.
I think it sets us apart, frankly, to have this much space, not only literally on this stage, but in the footprint of this entire building is really special and differentiates us, I think, from many institutions comparable in size to Ohio Northern.
We do an outstanding job of combining the liberal arts and professional and pre-professional education, and that is really the education of the 21st century. The programs that are housed and that use the Freed Center actually exemplify that very directly. Music, theater, communications.
Right along with when the Freed Center was built, WONB went on the air. Richard Gainey built the station from the ground up. And his wife, Becky Gainey, while she was the cable manager, she definitely was involved with WONB as well. I think the Freed Center has provided so many learning opportunities for students here at the university that you don't get outside this building. The things they learned at WONB have been definitely applicable to their real-world jobs.
The Freed Center provided, and still to this day does, a state-of-the-art place where you can do your work.
It prepares our students for the real world when they go out and they have to work. Let's say they're working in a theater. They've had this, an incredible light board, we have incredible sound board, an orchestra with an orchestra pit here. It's unheard of in institutions our size.
What Freed represents to me is kind of a cathedral of the imagination. It is where our humanity is expressed by witnessing a symphony or witnessing a play. Very important to the overall educational experience.
But it's amazing the power that theater can have to change a person's outlook.
The arts let us dream. The arts let us think outside the box.
It promotes critical and creative thinking.
It's particularly important for undergraduate students to have opportunities to engage with classical music, to engage with jazz, to engage with different theatrical genres.
I think our university has a commitment to that, and we just need to continue that commitment so that this can continue to grow and grow.
We couldn't function without the support of the community, and that includes our alumni and our donors.
We have so many different ways where we need resources to be able to put on the breadth that we have at the Freed Center and to sustain quality. That's the margin of excellence, the philanthropy that occurs as a result of people who have a passion for the arts and are willing to support us.
Without their generous support, we couldn't continue to do what we're doing, and we're so grateful for them.
To our donors, underwriters, angels, our supporters of the arts, our volunteers, our staff, thank you for 25 years of all that you've done to help make this season and every season a great one. Thank you.
It's been a fabulous journey.
I'm excited about what's to come.
There'll be good years.